So when you think about music, don't just think about the notes on the page. Think about you have notes and rhythms, but think about, I'm recording, so please listen. Don't just think about notes and rhythms. Think about what you can do with them. Okay? The more you play around with the notes and rhythms you know, the better you are going to be at music. You know fingerings, you know buttons, you know how to hold your sticks. Now, you can make your own music because you know 7 notes. You can play notes. You can put together your own melody. Yes. So, just like if I go, we are going to be making our own song. But just like if I go to the piano, I have the right. If I'm writing a song and I do this, Mary had a little lamb. I can change it because I know how to change notes. I can add a sharp or a flat. All I got to do is make sure I have the right fingering. So I can change that to. Yeah, it sounds off, but it's mine. Can someone tell me what I wrote musically is wrong? No. All they can say is whether they like it or not. Let's take a quick vote. How many people like listening to Hannah Montana? Okay. How many people like listening to Lady Gaga? Great. She makes her own music. How many people like listening to Taylor Swift? Really? Is she that? Thank you. How many people like listening to Katy Perry?
All of her too.
Great. How many people like listening to Drake? Okay. How many people like listening to who's that guy that does Bud Digger? You know that.
Colt Ford.
Colt Ford. How many of y'all like listening to Colt Ford?
I have the CD in
3.
my truck.
Now, can anybody say that Colt Ford didn't make a song?
No.
Can anybody say that Drake or Nicki Minaj did not make music?
No.
Well, so I'm not going to limit you guys to what you can do. The only limit I'm going to give you is what you can write down and play. All right? So if you want to make a funny sound effect, if you want to do something kind of weird, go for it. But when it comes to the notes and rhythms, I want you to make sure those are right.
I have to write it down.
Each section of instrument is going to get together and you're going to discuss what we talked about earlier. Listen. Discuss the characteristics, like do you think your instrument's loud, soft, gentle, rough? What do you think about your instrument? And then I want you to talk about what is your instrument like? Is it like a bee? Is it like a butterfly? Is it like an angry man?
We can't play rough and tough notes because that our instrument is very soft and it can play like Silent Night, as you said.
I mean, we can play rough songs, but I'm saying we weren't built for that. We were built for beauty. That's why our name is Big. That's why.
Baritones are like they can get real high. And tuba it may be like a bigger.
Oh, baritone. Let Mr. Figure out.
So what do you guys like?
We're like a simpler man.
We collaborated and you guys have thought about your instrument. So you started your creative juices flowing. Now, yep, it's juicy in there, right? It's very wet and juicy. Now, check it out. Like I said, if you write something on paper, just a stipulation, before you guys decide who you're going to be working with, if you write this on paper, but if you play this, if that's what you wrote, but I listen to you and you start playing this, that's a different assignment, all right? That's improvisation, that's a different type of composing, that's composing as you go. This one, you gotta write it down. We're gonna talk about that later. I'm going to have a sheet of paper, so I can write down.
Look at this.
Start looking do good, good.
And so, like, he's gonna do the snare, then he's gonna do the bass.
I got
Gonna
my
do the lyrics. And he's
But
just
we're
gonna
not singing. We're not singing. We're not singing. Playing.
You guys are all creative. Lying is a form of creativity. You know, you lie to sometimes get out of trouble. You lie to keep people from hurting somebody's feelings. That's all fine. You know, this is what we do. Music is the same idea. You create things, you know, to get something done. You can tell a story. You can say something. The difference between music and when you write, you can't necessarily be wrong with what you write. When it comes to creative people, it's a skill. You do some of you are just gonna start writing music and realize, I write music better than I play. Some of you are like gonna struggle, be like, oh, I can play so well, I can't write. That happens, and there's nothing wrong with it. Creativity, for some of us, it just comes, it just makes sense. For some of us, it's like something you gotta work on, just like you work on playing. So, you break it down into pieces. What you know, and what you can do with what you know. I've seen music where they tell clarinets and stuff, push your keys. Saxophones, clarinets, push the keys and make sound with your keys. You know? And I've seen them tell brass players to take the mouthpiece out and only buzz on the mouthpiece. It's just anything to get sound, you know? And no one can tell you it's wrong because it's yours. I can tell you, even if you write a creative story, I can tell you you spelled the word wrong, but can I really say your story is wrong? No, only if it doesn't make sense, you know? But the story itself is not wrong, so you can't be wrong. When you write a story, you're writing. But when you write music, you're composing. That's the difference, all right? It's the same idea, the same creative process. You choose what happens next. You decide. It's yours. No one can tell you you're wrong, all right? Now, if you miss a note, that's wrong. But the note that is actually there, no one can say that note should not be next. All they can say is you might want to do something different, but that's okay. So, this is composition. And when you compose, the thing you want to do first is compose for the instrument that you play. Okay? And the first thing you really want to do is think about the instrument you play. What can it do? What does it sound like to you? Which one sounds more right to you based off of the words that you know of this song? Which version sounds more right? Listen close.
Can you compare it live?
Hold on, just listen. What song is that? Now, does this sound, knowing the words of that song, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, does this sound like Twinkle Twinkle Little, does this represent what you think Twinkle Twinkle Little Star should? Does that sound like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star though?
Yeah.
Do you think of a star when you, which one would you think of a star more? Number one or number two? Number one. Why?
It's soft and twinkling.
Soft, it's high, it's like it's twinkling, it's like a star. But then when you get down here, for instruments that play down here, it doesn't sound like a twinkling pretty thing. It's just, exactly.
Like black stars.
Like black stars. This is, that's what's important. You gotta think, what does my instrument represent? What does it sound like to you? So, you know, David will play morning songs, but at the end of the day, no matter how good of a tuba player David becomes, will morning song really sound right on tuba? Oh, it's morning. But then when David plays it, he's playing the right notes. He's playing it's just bum, 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 bum.
Not that low.
I want to wake up. Snooze, snooze. But then when it's on flute, good morning, world. Good morning, world.
Oh,
You know, so it makes a difference. So you need to think about what does your instrument represent? Because that's going to change how you write